A cold wind cut through the small town that night, rattling the faded sign of a roadside garage that had seen better days. Inside, under the flickering light of a single bulb, a single dad named Jack worked late, his grease-stained hands tightening the last bolt on a customer's truck. Jack wasn't just a mechanic, he was a veteran, a man who had seen war, lost brothers in battle, and carried scars no one could see. His life now revolved around his young daughter, Emily, who waited for him at home with her homework spread across the kitchen table. He didn't have much, but he gave her everything he could, even if it meant working until his back ached and his knuckles bled. That night, as Jack was preparing to lock up, the thunder of an engine echoed down the empty road. Not just any engine, the deep growl of a Harley-Davidson. Out of the shadows came a gleaming black Harley, its chrome catching the dim streetlights, but its rider clearly struggling to control it. The bike sputtered, coughed, and finally rolled to a stop right in front of Jack's garage. The rider removed his helmet, and Jack's eyes widened. Everyone in town knew that face. It was Alexander Creed, the billionaire CEO and leader of the Iron Riders, a motorcycle brotherhood known worldwide. Most people only saw his money and his power, but up close, Jack saw something else, weariness in his eyes, the weight of a man who'd lost his way. "My Harley's giving me trouble," Creed said, his voice low and frustrated. "Someone told me you're the best man in town." Jack wiped his hands on a rag. "I'll take a look. Bikes like these don't deserve to sit on the side of the road." As Jack worked, Creed stood in silence, watching. The veteran's hands moved with confidence, as if every tool had been molded for him. He treated the Harley with respect, not just as a machine, but as something alive. "You care for it like it's yours," Creed remarked after a while. Jack glanced up. "Machines have souls when they carry men through battles, whether on the field or on the road." His voice carried the weight of memories he didn't often share. Creed didn't reply, but his eyes softened, as though he understood more than he let on. By midnight, the Harley roared back to life, smoother and stronger than before. Creed offered Jack a thick wad of cash, but Jack shook his head. "I don't want your money. Just ride safe." Creed stared at him for a long moment, then nodded, almost humbled. He extended his hand, and Jack shook it, two men from different worlds, bound by something deeper than wealth. The next morning, Jack woke to the sound of rumbling engines. At first, he thought it was thunder. But when he stepped outside, he froze. The street outside his house was lined with motorcycles, hundreds of them. Shining Harleys, chrome glinting in the sunlight, leather jackets with the Iron Rider's crest on the back. And at the center of it all sat Creed, his bike purring beneath him, a grin on his face. Jack's daughter Emily ran to the window, her eyes wide. "Daddy, are they here for you?" Creed swung off his Harley and walked up the driveway. "Last night, you fixed more than my bike," he said loud enough for everyone to hear. "You reminded me of something money can't buy: honor, respect, and brotherhood." The Iron Riders wanted to meet the man who taught their leader a lesson. The roar of approval from the bikers shook the ground. Jack felt his throat tighten. He had spent years in silence, invisible, just another struggling single dad. And now, these men, brothers of the road, were standing with him, not because of who he was, but because of what he stood for. Creed looked at Emily and smiled. "Your dad's a rare man. Today, he's part of the Riders' family." For the first time in years, Jack felt the weight on his shoulders lift. He wasn't alone anymore. The war had taken much from him, but life was giving him back a new brotherhood, one that stretched farther than he ever imagined. That day turned into something unforgettable. The Riders stayed, helping fix up his old garage, bringing supplies for Emily, even repainting the place with their own hands. They didn't treat him as a charity case, they treated him as one of their own. Jack realized that family wasn't always about blood. Sometimes, it was about the people who showed up when the world thought you were forgotten. As the sun set, engines roared once more, echoing across the town like thunder. Jack stood in the middle of it all, Emily's hand in his, watching 100 bikes surround him. For the first time in a long time, he wasn't just surviving, he was living, standing tall among brothers who saw his worth. And if you're still watching this story right now, remember this: real strength isn't about money or fame. It's about honor, love, and the family we build around us. If this story touched you, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to be reminded that no matter how dark life gets, there's always a road that leads to hope.